On the video, please stop posting mean comments. Glinda said, "You sound like a gay dude who's smoked for 29 years. Troy said, "I predict he's going to get roasted about how he struggled to pronounce Kakashi Hatake." Yeah, no, I've read every single comment on this video. Not a single person mentioned my pronunciation of Kakashi Hatake. You're the only weeb here. Sorry. Maware said, "Cute. Boy." If I could have one comment a year where just magically I get sent a picture of the person that posted it, this year's comment would be Maware's comment where he says, "Cute boy." It's short, it's sweet, not sweet. Well, maybe it's sweet. It's short, it's simple, maybe it's sweet, but I'm curious. On the video, rating your insanely cool reptile enclosures, Dino Does Minecraft said, "This is much better than online classes." I guess they were just slacking and watching my videos instead. However, that does remind me, I had a video idea. I have a lot of video ideas. That doesn't mean they're good ideas, but I think this one's not a terrible idea because I don't think I can get in trouble. But imagine if one of you gave me your school login and I did your schoolwork for a day. It would be funny, right? I'm not promising anything. I'm not saying this isn't paying me so you get an A+. This is not paying me so you can get a D- at best. But it would be kind of funny. I don't know if I can get in trouble, but you know my email. Wink. Or maybe you don't know my email. It's alex@GoHerping.com. I think it would be funny. I would do it. On the same video, Pooh Boy said, "Is 36 by 18 by 18 too big for a Kenyan sand boa?" Why does everyone always ask this? I mean, I don't think enclosures can... I don't even feel like talking about this, but I'm going to. Anyway, can an enclosure be too big for a reptile? Not really, but it can be a big pain. I mean, cleaning a 3-foot enclosure for a sand boa, finding the sand boa in it, dealing with the heating, dealing with... I don't know, it's just not really worth it. If you want to, I guess you can, but for me, I think it's a waste of time. Maybe a waste of space. The sand boa probably doesn't care, but do what you want. Or, well, don't do what you want, I guess. It is a living animal. You know what? I refrain. I retract my comments on this comment. On the video, oh frick. Azorian Eve said, "Having your revenue or livelihood tied to these big sites like YouTube or Instagram is scary." For context, my Instagram was deleted and it's one of my primary sources of revenue, so yeah, fun times. They're known for terrible user support, and sometimes you just wake up and your whole account's deleted. And generally, there's nothing you can do. While it is kind of scary, and I've experienced it myself where it just goes, "Oop, goodbye, your account is gone," I'd rather rely on a big corporation website than a little boss. Or a medium-sized boss, whatever size your boss is. Because, I mean, yeah, you could have more than one job, but it's a lot easier to diversify and have more than one platform than have multiple bosses, where one could just be like, "You're gone, goodbye." Which, yes, you could sue for if you think you were, like, unrightfully fired, but... I mean, you might not have the money for that if you just got fired. Basically, what I'm saying is, yes, I complain about this, and I think it's scary, but I think it's a lot better than the alternative. But still a good point. Same video, Elizabeth said, "Update on the recent Tegu." Yeah, I feel like I kind of misled by accident. The title, I think, was "Driving X Hours for a Pet Tegu" or something. Yes, it is a pet Tegu. It just isn't my pet Tegu. It was somebody else's pet Tegu, and I was picking it up to make it a pet Tegu for someone else. What I'm trying to say is I already sold and shipped the Tegu, and I didn't really tell you. However, I did record it. I'm going to include that in another video. But I think I said in the video that it's going to be listed soon, but yeah, sorry, I didn't keep the Tegu. However, there's another Tegu right here if I'm going to be opening on camera. Let me put it down. Once I record this, I'm going to record unboxing that Tegu. So yeah, I had to get that Tegu out as quickly as I could, but I really like the person that I went to. It was a really great setup, great person, great enclosure. And they actually aren't very far from the person I got it from, which is interesting, but I needed space for another Tegu, which also I'm not keeping, sorry. Double Dragon Hotel said, "I just had my 5-year-old spayed, so forgive me if I'm not rushing out to buy another bearded dragon right now, but those are beautiful." Basically, I kind of jokingly asked and then not jokingly asked why you're not buying my reptiles. Just out of curiosity, like, why aren't you buying a reptile? Like, just curious, and I got actually a lot of really interesting answers, but they said that they had their 5-year-old female spayed. When I first read that, I thought it was like, oh, their female dog, but what does that have to do with a bearded dragon? And I was like, I don't think they spayed their child. I also don't think that's legal, at least not legal enough to mention in a comment on your personal account. So that kind of just leaves one option, which is you spayed your bearded dragon. But why? Why would you spay a bearded dragon? I didn't even know that was a thing. I don't know, I'm curious. I'm not, well, I am judging. I'm respectfully judging. Why would you spend money to spay a bearded dragon? Thank you in advance for answering. Back to the video. Please stop posting mean comments. Ocean Elf said, if I come across your spam comments video, which I mentioned I did a video about spam comments, I'll watch it. I love seeing spammers taken to pieces. Well, the video's on YouTube, so, and I appreciate the comment, and I appreciate that you'll watch it if you come across it, but in the time you wrote this comment, you could have just opened your computer and typed in youtube.com and then type in GoHerping spam comments, and then you click enter, and then you can just watch the spam comments video. Wait, now that I think of it, there's literally a card in that video that pops up like this, I don't know which side it's on, that said spam. Never mind, this is an unnecessary rant. Moving on to Captain Spicy, who said, I don't like your videos. I never leave mean or any comments. Zero interaction is great for the algorithm. Wish YouTube would stop recommending your awful videos. Believe it or not, I sympathize a lot with Captain Spicy. I always get these random channels who I purposely avoid and purposely don't watch, and they still pop up on my home feed. A lot of people will comment on my videos. They'll be like, oh, it's another one of your videos. I'm so tired of seeing them. And then the next video I post like, oh, your video is on my home feed again. And then my 28th video, they're like, I have commented on 28 of your videos and they're still showing up. Yeah, if you engage in a video, YouTube's gonna be like, wow, they're really liking this channel. Or hate, I don't know, hate watching's a thing too. I'm sure YouTube respects any hate watchers out there. If you comment on a video, it's gonna give you more videos. I don't know why people do that. But Captain Spicy, on the other hand, has never interacted with my videos. And yeah, if you go to your home feed, I think on desktop, I don't know about mobile, click the 3 dots and you can click don't recommend this channel. And I think that'll actually benefit me and you, because you won't see the videos and I won't get an impression on the video that doesn't lead to a view. So just a little technical, but yeah, sorry that my videos are awful. Captain Spicy. Bomb Diggity said, yes, please make the frog plushie. I see it in the background all the time and I've searched everywhere for a desert rain frog plush, hoping that I would find it. Well, the plush you're talking about is this one. And apparently I did a bad job getting the design done because it's not a desert rain frog. It's an Asian painted frog. Frick. On the video, how not to care for leopard geckos. Courtney said, mine has started to have this growth at the base of her tail. She was licking at it a little bit, which made me worry. Have you ever heard anything like that? I cannot believe I'm answering a medical reptile question in a video, but you're describing a cloacal prolapse, which, I mean, it would be easier to tell with a video. For some reason, leopard geckos have surprisingly common cloacal prolapses, which is when their insides by their hole come outside. It's not supposed to do that, but it does sometimes. It can lead to infection or, well, bleeding or, well, death. But most of the time you can actually, a vet can fix it up pretty quickly. There are some home remedies, but I probably should not suggest a home remedy for a cloacal prolapse in a video. But I'm just going to say that a lot of people have sent to me about their cloacal prolapses, and home remedies actually do work. So do your research on them, and I don't know why I included this. On the video, please stop posting mean comments. Ramen Meow said, about the pig sign coincidence, which for context, someone recognized a sign in my video and they're like, I live in that town. One time I started watching this YouTuber and realized he literally lived in my neighborhood. It was so weird. Well, while that was weird for you, that is every YouTuber's biggest nightmare. It is a reason that I do not tell any of my neighbors what I do. None of them know what I do. I have a completely different occupation. My entire life is different according to my neighbors, because you're putting a lot of power in your neighbor's hands if they realize that there's a YouTuber in their neighborhood. So you sound nice, and 98% of people will be nice, but yeah, don't please don't dox YouTubers. Thank you, I appreciate it. And now for the remainder of the video, we will be discussing the butt tub. You see, in a recent video, we got to explore this bad boy, which is a tub with a butt in it. This is the third video where we're dedicated the amount of segment to the butt tub. And there are a lot of theories, and we're going to highlight some of them because I have questions. First off, Leanna said, pretty sure that bathtub has parts that sticks out near the bottom side where you can just place soap and stuff, and the butt cheek molds are just a reflection of that in the water and not part of the bathtub itself. You know what? I'm stopping you there. This is the worst theory that I have ever heard. This is not a reflection. There's so many comments like, it's a reflection. It's just the light. Look at this. How is this a reflection? Look at how the light hits. Light would not be hitting here if it was a reflection and not hitting over here. It is clearly a butt wedgie with boom, 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 cheek, cheek, and then your body. Terrible theory. Moving on. Bethamphetamine said, I googled every possible way to find another butt tub. I found butt-shaped plugs for the drain. I found some bubbles shaped like a butt, babies with the bubbles on their butts, and signs that said nice butt cheeks, but I still have no answers other than it seems most people do not enjoy porcelain wedgies. Strange. Well, we had some third-party research with no answers. Anna said, the butt bathtub. Y'all, I did the work for you. I've looked up so many bathtubs in every iteration of the bathtub with butt cheek separator that I can think of, and I cannot find anything that matches the tub in this video. I've decided that the two possible answers are 1, the butt mold is a trick of light. No, that's stupid. You're wrong. And we've been fooled. No, we are not fooled. This is not a trick of light. It's such a... I gotta stay calm. The butt shape is a custom molded bathtub that is one of a kind. I believe the custom butt tub theory is the most likely answer. Please leave me your thoughts. This one got 60 likes. A lot of people believe this is a custom tub. The only reason I don't believe that is because it's simply not a nice tub. I've never really had a nice tub, but I've seen pictures of like luxury bathrooms and like these really high quality tubs. This is clearly just a plastic molded tub that you would not get customized. I think if it was customized, it would be a higher quality material. It would have very nice lighting. It would be like a really luxurious bathroom. So no offense to the butt tub owner, but I don't think this is a custom molded butt tub. Mr. Chicken Strips, aka Ryan, said the bathtub separator is to separate the pizza rolls and the chicken nuggets when you wash them to prepare for consumption. My mouth is watering. That's disgusting. Rosemary Fox said, these are such long theories. Bathtub theory. Perhaps the indents are meant for the feet, so you can soak your feet in the bathtub without filling it the whole way and can be comfortable. Yeah, well, that doesn't make any sense. There's water here, and you're saying that your butt goes here. That would go up it, and you'd put your feet here? Is that what you're saying? If anything, it would be the other way around, right? Maybe I'm misreading this comment. But as Mr. Mick said, that's a good theory. But if that were the case, it would be under the faucet because bathtub slants down. The respondent said maybe it would be a safety hazard to have the slant go down since people taking a shower might slip backwards. Wouldn't you slip either way? I just don't like this theory. Moving on. Hanaconda said the bath has a low molded seat, so it's raised with a channel down the middle rather than a hole with a butt separator. So they're claiming that this, in fact, is a canal and not a porcelain wedgie. Based on the light, I think that the way that it's reflecting, it is not a canal. And that's such a weird thought of just sitting there and you just have this constant flowing water as you're like spread here. I don't know. This one just makes me uncomfortable and I hope it's wrong. I think it's wrong. Kayla Dyer said, I'm going to be real with you, Chief. I don't think the bathtub is molded in some special way. I think that's a shadow. Yep. Well, this is the worst comment I've ever read and you are wrong. That's a shadow. That's like when people say it's just the wind. It's never just the wind. It's always you're about to die. I can't read this name. Said the cheek separator is only at the front of the sitting area. It's a safety thing. If a person falls asleep or is totally relaxed, it would prevent them from sliding down under the water. But that's just a theory. A bad theory, because think about the times that you're gonna fall asleep or go unconscious in a tub. Not while you're already sitting down. Maybe you have a health thing and you pass out while you're standing up, and then that's a hazard. Lots of people get hurt like that. But if you fall asleep while already sitting down, no, this is wrong also. Chris, very simple theory, said the bathtub is for your balls. Okay, well, not the worst theory. Definitely not the worst theory. At least you're not a butt tub denier or whatever we call the other folks that do not deserve human rights. Shay said, Shay Vlogs said, oh my god, this person said, I refuse to believe the comments trying to debunk the butt cheek tub existence. It's disgusting. I agree completely. One spicy BBW said, yes, it's a seat. Usually walk-in tubs have them. What? Usually, I've never, okay. Well, let's finish first. But this particular tub looks like a soaking tub. The ridge isn't as high as it looks, and it helps people with mobility issues from sliding too much. So this was a common one, those mobility issues. I guess this makes sense. It's admittedly a boring theory. Maybe that means it's the right theory, but my one argument is I have seen seats in tubs, but they're literally seats. This is just a mold. If you say you're old and you have trouble getting up and down, I don't know why I had to show what being going up and down means. You're not going to, I feel like you wouldn't get all the way down on the ground of the tub. You would just want an actual seat. I forgot to stop going up and down. That was weird. I feel like you just want a seat in your tub that's like raised 2 or 3 feet so you can just do this instead of have to go every single time you take a bath. So that's my response to that. We've got 2 more theories. Mildly disgruntled tortilla whisperer. What? Said, bathtub answer. Y'all are just weak males who have never worn women's underwear before. This is quite the start. If I don't have a wedgie while wearing my underwear, then my butt is not on point. What I'm saying is that the divider is not as big as you think. Since no one has sat on it, you don't really know if it's actually uncomfortable. I'm willing to admit it might be uncomfortable for a very, very small person, but the average adult needs to suck it up and split them cheeks. And finally, Alex said the bathtub is a custom-made home birth tub. The divots on the sides of the tub are for the stirrups where the mother's feet would sit. That's the genius idea my wife came up with. I thought it was a fish. It does look kind of like a fish, actually. Like, oh my god, that's not what a fish looks like. Like, yeah. Like that. Custom made a home birth tub, but I mean, I don't know what position. Wait, so what position do you have home birth in? The divots on the sides are where the mother's feet would sit. Wait, how do you have home birth? Do you squat? Wait, I need to look up home birth positions. I'm not going to show this on the screen recording though, because I don't want another demonetization. Okay. Oh, all right. Yep. I'm glad I'm not showing this on the video. Give it a go. It'll be worth it, they said. Yep, this does not look worth it at all. This looks like a woman dying in all of these pictures. So she's basically just squat. I don't know. I don't know about this theory. Also, why would you get a custom tub for this? I feel like if you're already going through all the pain of birth, just let your feet not have its special support. Because home birth, they don't even use like numbing agents, do they? I don't know. Anyway, that's it for this and our theories with the butt tub. If you have more theories, I don't know if I'm gonna make a whole nother segment on it, but I've appreciated all of your comments and recommendations as to how we can find the answer to the tub itself. This has been episode 2 of reading your comments. If you like it, let me know and I can do some more. But that'll be it. I'm Alex and thanks for watching.